Everybody, McRoy throwing back here for FSI DFS. My voice is back. I should be fine. We should make it through this. It's also good to see McKinley back off the IL, starting to make some videos in the rotation also. So both of us pretty soon, hopefully, will be doing the rotations, be able to cover most of the days for you. So hope you had a good weekend. We have a 10-game slate here for Monday, the 23rd of May. And it's kind of a blah slate. Like there's lots of options, but when you kind of break it down towards the end, there's really not that much. A couple of weather concerns. Just gonna blow through the games quick and then let you know what lineups that I'm looking at here. So first game, the Dodgers and the Washington Nationals, potentially a little bit of rain early and then definitely later on in the game, about 45% chance 2 hours into it. So hopefully they'll be able to play. Tyler Anderson, a little expensive, but I think in the context of the slate, he's definitely been a decent pitcher in Washington. Doesn't scare me at all. So I think he's an option there if the weather's going to hold up. Adone on the other side, not interested in. I think the Dodgers are probably a top stack on the slate, the 5.35 total or higher than anybody else. So if this game plays, then I definitely probably going to go there and cash. Next up, we have the New York Yankees and against Baltimore Orioles. This one is in New York. They just played Baltimore in Baltimore. They just faced Jordan Lyles. They actually had, I think, 8 Ks and kind of shut them down. Yankees really kind of struggled in Seattle, or not Seattle, in Chicago playing the White Sox over the weekend too. No one game got rained out. I think they lost both yesterday. Really didn't put that many runs up. So maybe they're kind of cooling off a bit. Maybe going home is going to help them out. But they did have to travel, so Baltimore obviously did too, because the game's not in Baltimore. So I don't know. They have a 4.97 total. Jordan Lyles was decent against them. He's been solid against right-hand pitching. And really, the Yankees only have like Rizzo and Hicks, who's really struggled. So I don't know. I think they're top GPP stack here, and I think probably going to fade Lyles, but might pique my interest in large range tournaments if you're playing 150 teams. Could be interesting. Garrett Cole's definitely probably the top pitcher on the slate. So just probably gonna lock him in as SP1 in cash. And then for Baltimore stack, I think if you want to leverage stack, that's fine there. Next game is weather also, and this one is a little bit more iffy because it looks like it's going to be heavy rain early on. Might be a delay out. We'll see if they can get it in. Philadelphia Phillies at the Atlanta Braves. If it does play, it's going to be hot and humid there. Wind blowing out a little bit. You have Zach Wheeler and Tucker Davidson. Zach Wheeler, I'm definitely interested in if the game plays. I think he makes a great tournament play. Atlanta is striking out, even though they have a good lineup. But again, it's the same thing as the Yankees. Wheeler's been tough against righties, and you only have a couple lefties on here. You have Matt Olson, who's not Freddie Freeman. Definitely at the top of the lineup has changed since he went away there, and he really only have ABs as a switch hitter. So definitely like Wheeler if this game's going to play. Tucker Davidson on the other side, not super interested in, gives up a lot of walks to guys, puts guys on base. So I think Philly is definitely probably my favorite GPP stack, even over the Yankees if this game plays, like I said. Next up, we have the Detroit Tigers and the Minnesota Twins. I've seen different discrepancies in who's pitching for Detroit, but all the options are not good. So I think Minnesota definitely makes a good stack for bats, even though they're getting a little bit expensive. But they've gone off a couple times recently and helped me win a GPP and almost helped me win some GPPs. So I think I'll continue to play them some this season. Chris Archer, I just really can't do it at 7-4. They're only letting him go 4 or 5 innings. They're really deep, even against Detroit, where he's probably going to potentially get some strikeouts. I don't think I'm going to go there today. And if it is Boo Brisky on the Detroit side at the same price as Archer, absolutely not either. And then there might be a AAA guy that comes up. So just going to completely avoid that situation. Play the Minnesota Bats. Detroit is cheap, though, too, against Archer. So I guess you can play some of their guys if you need some salary relief in your lineups. Next up, you have Toronto Blue Jays and St. Louis Cardinals. Jose Barrios and Miles Mikolas. Barrios is a good pitcher, and he could go and eat innings. He might be a decent play on FanDuel, but the problem on DK is the St. Louis is like dead last recently in strikeouts against right-handed pitchers. So there's no K upside there. So I don't know. really not interested. And then on the other side, Mikolas against the Toronto bats, it's the same thing. It's a righty who's been actually having a quietly good season against right-handed batting, but Toronto's always a decent offense. So I think Toronto would. I don't think I'm playing either pitcher here. I think Mikolas is way too expensive at 9.6, and Berrios, like I said, there's no K upside. At 8.5, there's much better pitchers. There's few pitching options, but the pitching options that are there are good. I'd rather probably play Anderson if the game plays, or Wheeler for like the higher range one. And Berrios, I think there's about 2 other pitchers I'd rather, probably about 4 other pitchers I'd play than him. But don't say completely roll them out large field tournaments. I think they potentially could be okay there. The bat wise, like Toronto, I think is a GPP stack, and St. Louis would be a leverage stack because I don't think many people are going to play him. I think people might play Berrios looking at the 8.5 tag and not think about the strikeouts. Next up, we have the Cleveland Guardians and Houston Astros. At Houston, Tristan McKenzie and Luis Garcia. Tristan McKenzie is a strikeout pitcher who gives up a lot of hard contact and runs. So Houston doesn't strike out much. I don't think Travis McKenzie is going to overpower the Houston lineup. 7.7 again. I wish he was like a little bit cheaper. If you want to take a flyer on him in a YOLO lineup, I'm perfectly fine for $1, but that's about everything I do there. Luis Garcia on the other side, I don't think he's going to get at. I think he'd be the 4th favorite pitcher in the mid range, depending on what the Cleveland lineup is. They don't strike out much up top, but down bottom, they do have some strikeouts in the lineup. Garcia's not a power pitcher, not going to go super deep in the game probably either. So just kind of 8.7, just kind of there, not like super exciting. Houston, I think, would be a second best stack. Like I said, McKenzie does go with some power and some runs, and very disciplined team here. And I think if they have the regular lineup there, they would be good. Might be hard to get in with Cole, so you might have to take like a value play here. You know, you're probably not going to get like the full lineup in there. Maybe have to throw in like Maldonado as a catcher, or maybe McCormick, do kind of like a wraparound thing there. Next up, we have the Oakland A's and Seattle Mariners. We have Zach Logue and Marco Gonzalez. Zach Logue is an okay pitcher, but 8.1 is just a pretty high price. I think, Seattle has had their struggles with it, struggle more against right-handed pitching and left-handed pitching. So I think Seattle actually might be a sneaky, decent GPP stack today. Marco Gonzalez, I think, is going to be the chalk SP one. We've just seen like so many guys just do so well against Oakland this year, no matter how good the pitcher is. Marcos Gonzalez by no means is a great pitcher. He's an okay pitcher. He's had struggles at times, and he could get blown up. So Oakland might be a very sneaky leverage stack. But I think at 5.3 in the context of the slate, you're going to lock him in with Cole, and there's your pitchers in cash, and then just figure out which lineup you're going to stack and what values you're going to throw in, and you're good to go. But like I said, I could see bats on either side of this team also. Kansas City Royals and Arizona Diamondbacks. You have 2 lesser teams here with 2 lesser pitchers. You have Zach Greinke, who's, like I said, he's like kind of Bartolo cloning it. He's not getting any strikeouts by any means, but he's pitching to contact, letting his defense pick him up. Just trying to reinvent himself just to stay in the game. Crafty veteran, call him that. Zach Davies on the other side is okay. KC lineup's a little bit watered down with Perez out of the lineup. But, Merrifield, Benintendi's been having a quietly decent season. Witt's starting to come around a little bit, Hunter Dozier. So I think if you want to pivot off the Gonzalez chalk, you can play Greinke. He's not going to get strikeouts. He's not going to, Arizona doesn't strike out much, but he might, eat enough innings to get you where you need at 4.8, which is only 800 over the minimum. So I don't think he's going to get blown up. So I think he'll be okay there. And Davies on the other side, I think maybe at 6K if you wanted to at Kansas City. Maybe I'll put him in the cheap column here as somebody to consider. Bat wise too, really like the Arizona bats. I think if I just wish he was like catcher outfield eligible still, because it's just hard to pay 5K for a catcher. But some of the other guys, Rojas might be back in this lineup. There's definitely some pieces here that you could, righties or lefties, doesn't really matter. Against Greinke, just pick whoever fits in your lineup. And then Kansas City, I think, are also some cheap pieces too that you can use. Milwaukee Brewers, San Diego Padres, Hauser against Nick Martinez. Totals are low on both sides, 3.75. Padres a slight favorite, probably being at home, wind blowing out a little bit, but in San Diego Park, that's really not doing too much for you. Hauser's a little bit expensive. San Diego, if they have a little bit of watered down lineup, I think, you have Robinson Cano in the lineup now too, so there's some more outs and strikeouts. So I think Hauser could have a good game. 8-9 is a little bit pricey for him. I think, in the next game at 7-9, I'd rather have Cobb saving $1,000 if I'm going in the mid-range, but I think Hauser's definitely in play. Nick Martinez on the other side, he's going to be good down the road, but I think he just needs more experience. And Milwaukee Brewers have struck out, but they have put together some decent games also. So I think I'm just going to kind of cross this game off and just not super excited. And then we have the Mets in San Francisco. You have David Peterson, Alex Cobb. Peterson has struggled a little bit this year, and you can match them with a lot of righties here for San Francisco. The pricing's pretty decent also, so I think they can you can mix some of these guys in with your higher price stack and to make them work. They've got a 4 total, which is pretty high, seeing that a lot of teams are in the 3s for today. Mets on the other side, not super interested in. Definitely not playing Cobb here or Peterson here, but Cobb, I think, against some of these Mets should be okay. He's been okay against right-handers, and that's a lot of the power of Marte and Alonso there. Yeah, they can mix in some lefties against them, but Dominic Smith strikes out, and some of the other guys. So you're probably gonna see a heavy left-handed lineup here, but some of those lefties like Nemo are good, but then some of them aren't. So I definitely think Cobb at 7-9 would be my favorite mid-range pitcher. So like I said, not super many options here. So I think, for what I'm going to look at here, like I said, Cole and Gonzalez are going to be my pitchers. Rushman, who is the rookie, highly talented that they called up for Baltimore, is only 2K. Play him there, play a 2K catcher. I just punt catcher today. And then these are the core guys I'm looking for at Houston. I think you're going to have to play a cheaper one. You can throw Arizona in there as a cheap stack, some San Francisco guys. Play the Dodgers in place of these guys if that game's going to play here. I think, I definitely like them over there. And it's the same thing. I would take probably Freeman at first base. I would take definitely Mookie at outfield, and probably I don't know who else I would want. They're so expensive. Probably going to take Trey Turner at shortstop, and then usually Muncie's pretty reasonably priced. He's 5K today. That's just crazy. Maybe Bellinger at 4.2 or Lux at 3.8. So just to try to make that work out there. Then for GPP, I really hope this Philadelphia game plays because I like Wheeler here, JT, Hoskins, Booms, and Castellanos. And Seattle fits so nicely in here with a decent SP2. I'm not really worried about the lefty-righty matchups here because I think Logue's probably won't be that deep, and the Oakland bullpen's not that great either. So I'm okay playing Fraser at second base. I'm okay playing Crawford, even if it's lefty at shortstop. The one I want to make priority is definitely Julio Rodriguez, and then whoever else fills in there to work. So we got for Monday Slate. Thanks for watching. If you want more information on FSI DFS, check out the bio, and all the links to our Discord and to our website and our Twitter page are there. Please give us a like, share with your friends, and subscribe to our channel so you know our videos are coming out. If you have any questions, hit me up on Twitter at MegaRoar31, and we'll see you next time.